Morgan, your host. Today is a call-in day, so you can call us in at 647-931-4701. Well, what does that mean? Usually that means you can call in and get a psychic reading. Well, you can do that. But today we're going to go further than that. Today you can call in and talk to me about my psychic lifestyle. You can talk to me about, hey, you know what? I've had experiences. Today is a sharing circle. Today I want to hear your stories, your experiences. And if you have questions for me on what my life is like, well, we're going to talk about that too. So today is a call-in show. Call in for a psychic reading. Call in to chat with me and talk about the work that I do and the work you want to do and the experiences you've had. We're in the Halloween month. It's October. So when we come back, it's all about you.
Are you retiring smart? Make your home's equity work for you. With your home's equity and our 30 years of experience, the Retire Smart Properties team can help you achieve the quality of life you've always wanted. Our services are 360 degrees. We'll give you advice, take care of staging and selling, and help you find the perfect home and community to transition to. It's time to enjoy the retirement lifestyle you deserve. Visit our website today to learn how you can use your home to retire comfortably. The Retire Smart Properties team, powered by RE/MAX West.
Hi, everybody. This is Angel Morgan calling. Oh my God. I'm so focused on it being a call-in show today. 647-931-4701. Call in for your psychic reading. And what does that mean? When we talk about psychic readings, we're talking about insight. What I do with my readings is I give you the strongest path because our paths are limitless. Whatever step we take leads us onto a new path. So I give you your strongest path. You step to the left, you step to the right, you can change that path. It doesn't make it worse, it makes it different. That's when we're talking about the future. I can also tap into the past, the things that you've experienced in your life, to help me understand and help you understand why you are where you are now. What has helped you become who you are and brought you to the circumstances that you're in. Readings can be incredibly helpful for so many different reasons, whether it's guidance, whether it's just to connect to loved ones who've crossed over. And you know what? I mean, I have fun with that. A lot of readers will take offense, but sometimes it's just, yeah, does it really exist? I have other friends who are psychics, obviously, and we'll do lunch every month and we'll kind of sit and we'll kind of talk and we'll have lunch and we'll, shoot the crap kind of deal. And as we do that, we actually read each other. And one of the reasons we do that is we haven't seen each other for a while because we're busy or what have you, but it also helps us to understand and practice our trade with others who are within the field. And so when we do these readings for each other, not only is it helpful to our lives, but it reinforces how real this work is. And it's really nice. And you have to understand too, as a psychic, I'm not on all the time. It gets turned down. Like my abilities will really expand within the time that I'm doing a reading or if it's really necessary. So if I'm sitting there watching a television show and I'm having a sandwich, more than likely I am not going to get any, spooky impulses. Although sometimes it will happen, more than likely I can just sit and watch a television show now. And a lot of psychics don't, some psychics don't get that. Some psychics are on all the time because they don't know how to focus their abilities. And so that's also experience, it's time, and it's about really understanding the craft. We have our first caller of the day. It is 647-931-4701. Hello, who am I speaking with today?
Hi, this is Melissa. How are you?
Good, I'm fantastic. What can I do for you, Melissa?
Oh, beautiful. I was just looking for some guidance around a U.S. visa and if it's going to be needed for this coming November for me.
I do get that you should vie for it, that you should get it. Will it be necessary for right this time? I'm not seeing that it is.
Right.
But the reality is I would get it because there is something coming. Whatever you do now is setting you up for something in the future. So act as if it is going to come. If it does, fantastic. But I'm not seeing it necessary. For now, I'm seeing it necessary for the future. Oh, wait a second. You said November, right?
Yeah.
There is the potential for you to need it in November, but not for what you're thinking. It might be for something a little bit connected but different, but there is something coming in November. Okay, so yes, do get it, work on getting it, but there's something, just understand there's a surprise attached to this. It's going to shift or change in some way. So even if it's the same project, there's something going to shift and change, and really move with that, okay?
Okay, so I'm just nervous about the timeline if I would get it in time.
Oh yeah,
so you say go for it.
Yeah, the timeline is fine. Regardless of what you do, go get it because you're going to need it, and this isn't just for this, it's going to be for other projects. Like you have to vie for this one in order to vie for other ones. Like it makes it easier every time you get a visa.
Yes.
So you need to do this first step in order, because you're going to be doing a lot of traveling. There's going to be a lot of traveling. Okay. So yeah, you're going to need it regardless of what happens, but there is something coming for you in November, but just understand there's a shift or a change coming within the project or coming within that thing. Okay?
Yes, sounds right.
Thanks,
Thank you, Angel.
Melissa.
You're amazing.
Time to hear. Bye. So yeah, so when we look at things like this, where it's guidance, when this Melissa is asking about a Visa card, this sometimes isn't necessarily about right now. Sometimes it can be about later on. When I first started down this path, it was really interesting because I thought it was for me. And when I had my son, which was a surprise, when he hit about 3 years old, I realized it wasn't just for me, but it was for him as well. And I'll get back to that after this caller. Ooh, it's a call-in show today. Hello, who am I speaking with?
Hi, it's Deborah.
I'm sorry, who is this?
Deborah?
Hi, Deborah, how are you?
I'm okay, how are you?
I'm awesome. What can I do for you today, Deborah?
I have a question. I'm a supplier, and I've been supplying at one school, but I just got told that they hired somebody, and I was hoping that I would stay at school for a while. I'm just wondering if there's anything in the future or soon in the next few months.
Okay, so
will I be placed somewhere?
Yeah, there is, but it's also going to depend on you, because I see you falling into a sadness. And the reality is you've got to shake out of that in order for the door to open really quick. Okay, it's going to open. There is going to be something there for you, but how long it's going to take is really up to you. So the reality is when you're not at school, when you're not at school, when you're not at work, you need to self-fulfill. You need to do things that are going to keep your spirit up. Okay. For me, it's music. For me, it's mountain biking. For me, it's going for walks in the conservation areas. For you, you need to find things. They're showing me music, and they're saying, allow yourself to cry, because I feel like you're holding back tears. I feel like you've gone, one step forward, 2 steps back. But the reality is to understand from October 2nd, 2018 to November 17th, 2018, this is what's supposed to be happening. Right now, if you're going to get rid of something, now is the time that it's going to happen. What is your astrological sign? Hello?
I'm sorry?
What's your astrological sign?
I'm a Pisces.
Okay, so for you, this isn't going to hit you as hard as most people. So just kind of ride the wave. Just sit back, chill out. One of the things that they're showing me that you need to learn here is fear of losing work, that you're not going to have that. I mean, everybody has that fear to one extreme or another, but for you particularly, it's very high. Okay, so you've got to chillax. There is stuff coming, and I just heard this. Your career is there. You're going to have a long career doing this. Just kickstarting it is a little difficult. Look more to next year, February, March. That's when your life is going to begin.
Okay.
Okay. For now, they'll really focus on you because that timeline may shift if you can. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. Do we have another caller, Anisha? Get out of town. Wow. 647-931-4701. Hello, caller. How are you? Oh, no. We dropped a caller. I hope we didn't hurt them. Oh, no. I know that's... I've got my father's sense of humor. It's horrible. So that's one of the things I was talking about, was that we pass on. Sometimes the knowledges we have are there not just for us, but for other people. I started to realize that it was for myself and for my son. Hello, caller. How are you? Who am I speaking with?
Renee.
Sorry?
Renee.
Hi, Renee. How are you?
I'm good, Angel. How are you?
I'm awesome today. You've called on a very good day. What can I do for you, Missy?
Good. Well, I'm just calling. I was in your studio in January with my family, little Romeo, my mom, and my sister.
Up in Keswick.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
because
right.
we do the Rogers TV show up there. That's where we tape that. Yes. Hi. How are you?
Exactly. Well, well, I say I'm good, but I've got a lot going on in my life. My daughter just had a baby at 29 weeks.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you, little girl. And we're right now displaced, living with my family. Thankfully.
Your mom keeps coming up.
Does she?
Yeah, your mom. In this situation, I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off. I am sorry. They're showing me for you particularly that again, self-care. I feel like you're drained.
Yeah, I am. I have a lot of health issues going on as well. And,
watch your vitamin D. Please.
Vitamin D?
Yeah, watch your vitamin D and take some rest time. And that, whether people are around or not, you need some rest time where you can just close the door and fall asleep and take a nap.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I don't have that. Yeah.
See, when I hear people say that, you can make that time, even 15, 20 minutes. That's a choice, okay? So I'm giving you the message, make a choice. 15, 20 minutes isn't a lot of time.
Okay.
Okay, what's your question?
Well, my question is just, what do you see for me? I'm in a huge transition. My car broke down at Mount Sinai last night as we arrived to see her baby daughter. Oh, no. So it's still there. A car I borrowed from my father to get me around. That's what I'm saying. It's a huge, with my health issues, my daughter's stuff. We're trying to find housing. There's a lot of things going on.
This is actually really great. I'm sorry, I'm going to say this, but this is really great that this is happening because, again, October 2nd to November 17th, I think that's going to be a big theme on this particular show. There is a lot coming up. Any issues that you have, for you, it's about managing and maintaining and the fear of not being able to manage and maintain everything you have on your plate. Can I get it done? Can I keep it all together? Absolutely you can. And the sooner you accept that, you know what, I am damn good. I am really, really good at managing and maintaining all the things that come to me. You're going to see things are happening faster. Your dad's car, that broke down they're showing me for a particular reason. There's a reason there to show you that you can manage and handle it. The health issues to show you that health issues will increase as you increase your time for self. Your iron is low too. Be careful.
Yeah, exactly. I have my kidney issue and autoimmune, they're saying now.
Yeah.
So it's been 2 years and they still don't know what's wrong, but I keep getting sicker. And I just keep getting all this stuff thrown at me, but I do believe I can handle it. I just want to make sure I'm doing the best that I can.
You are. The core issue for me as they're showing it to me is, yes, you know you can handle it, but it's fully accepting that. Yes, I know I'm a psychic, but I have to fully accept that I'm a psychic. I even have those moments of, why am I doing this? What's with me? Who am I? When I stop doing that, I'm going to find that even my abilities go to the next level. When you start to accept fully, this is me. I am the CEO of my company, of my life, of my family. You're going to find that things are just going to, like butter. And I keep seeing Sir Richard Branson. It's going to become easy. Okay.
It's going to be my grandson, did you say? Sorry?
No. I said I keep seeing Sir Richard Branson. There's a great book that you should read. And it's called If You're Not Having Fun, Don't Do It.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's by Sir Richard Branson. Go grab it. You can grab it at Chapters. I think that's it's maybe not the exact title, but you'll know because it's his latest book. Read it. I think that is so up your alley. You do this, your life is going to change. That book is really going to be life-changing for you.
Well, that's great. I do follow Richard Branson and love all of his messages so far, but I haven't read the book, so
read the book. That. Yeah, no problem. Thank you so much, Renee.
Thank you, Angel. Have a terrific day.
You too. Yeah, that's one of the things that we do. I do have a show with Rogers TV as well, so that's kind of cool. Holy people are calling. I love Hello, how are you? I'm actually going to put you on hold if that's okay, because we actually need to get to a commercial. I didn't see the timer. So we're going to come right back with your question if that's okay.
That's fine.
All right. Thank you. Okay. Join us back with Messages from an Angel. Hi, and we're back with messages from an angel. We have a caller on the line. Hi. What is
Hello.
Hello, what's your name?
Diane.
Hi, Diane. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
So what is your question?
How are you?
I'm fantastic. What's your question today?
I was just wondering if my life is still gonna, I'm really nervous.
That's allowed. That's allowed.
Okay, what I was wondering is, my life seems to be at a standstill. Is it going to move forward,
Yes.
in love or moving or anything like that?
Yeah, you've been gearing up. So for you, from actually the 7th of October on, you're gonna feel incredibly out of sorts for about a week. So from the 7th to whatever a week of 7 days or 9 days is for you, particularly a week will be about 7 or 8 to 9 days. After that, they're showing me that you're finally surrendering. So for you, it's about surrender. It's about not trying so hard in life, looking for love, looking for work, we all do that to some extreme or another. For you, this is a learning. This month is a learning in surrender. And you're kind of going to go, you know what? I give up. I'm so done. I'm so done. And when you do that, it's not about giving up. Understand you're going to surrender. So my suggestion to you is for you, I would sit very quietly, close your eyes, just kind of sit and just put out to the universe, to God, whatever it is you believe in, and just go, you know what? I'm putting my life in your hands. I'm going to trust you that you're going to bring what I need. And the minute you do that, once you've done that, I want you to open your eyes, take a breath, and then say, you know what, give me something to do. And then just allow the moments to happen. Really focus on what you're doing in that moment. It's called mindfulness. So the more mindful you become, the more you're going to surrender. And the more you surrender, the more you're going to see everything you're asking me open up. Is it going to open up? Absolutely it is. But understand, from the 7th to about the 7 to 9, from the 7th to 9 days after that, 8 or 9 days after that, it's going to feel very, very out of sorts. After that, you're going to understand more what I'm talking about surrendering. And I want you to go online.
Okay.
I want you to read a little bit about mindfulness. Okay, and mindful living, mindful eating, practice those things. I'm telling you, I got excitement and doors wide open.
Oh, sounds good.
Okay, yeah, so for you, it's a practice. All right?
Okay.
Thank you
Okay,
so
now
much.
there was another question I was going to ask. If
Yeah.
That's okay?
Yeah, sure.
Now, you read pets, right?
I do read pets.
Okay, what I was wondering is, I have a little girl.
Mm-hmm.
She's a pug Shih Tzu.
Yeah, puppy, got it.
Now, she just seems like she's always moping around. She's whining all the time.
Oh, okay.
I just want to know if there's something bothering her.
No, she just wants your attention. She's looking for your attention. You know, I was telling Anisha that yesterday I was on the computer and my cat wanted attention and she kept patting me in the head and I'm like, okay, I need to work. And then finally she went behind me and she bit my neck and I looked at her and then she nibbled. It's like, I love you. You see him here? So your dog really is craving your attention, and your attention is always, not always, but a lot of times elsewhere. I think if you find time a bit more like focused time. So not that you don't give your pet time, because I know you adore her. I totally get that. But when she is looking into your eyes, look back and say, you know what is it that you need? Then close your eyes and really just feel. Do you hear something? Do you feel something? Do you sense something? And then act on those feelings, because she's really trying to communicate. She's very mental, physical. So she's actually trying to vocalize. And that's what will happen too, is animals who have owners who are very communicative, they'll actually start to vocalize. They'll start to tell you what they want. And this one is very physical. So she's trying to tell you, listen, I need more attention. But it's not even just attention, love and hugs and cuddles. When she's trying to talk to you, focus. She looks at you. She sits there. She gets, like, her body shakes a little bit. You know, she's really trying to get a hold of you. So just...
Yes, she does. She shakes a lot in the back end when she gets like this.
Yeah, because she's really trying to tell you something, and it gets a bit frustrating. So that's the whining. So for you, they're showing me that you have animal communicator in you. We all do, but yours is actually very high, which is also why she's trying to communicate, because she knows and feels it. So you need to be quiet, and you need to just sit. And if you want to, there is an article on my website, mypsychiclifestyle.com. It's a blog about being psychic. And there's a specific one there on animal communications and how it's done and what you can do to do it. So go on mypsychiclifestyle.com and you'll find it there. It's called Talking to Animals. Really? So go and check it out. Okay?
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for calling in. Thanks for all the calls, everybody. This is exciting. I love it when we're moving and shaking like that. It's easy when I have an audience to work with, but you guys have to call into me. I can't just pick on you. So again, 647-931-4701. Having these abilities also means that we have to trust. And it's not just about being a professional psychic. It really isn't. All of us are intuitive. All of us have these abilities to one extreme or another. And how do you open them up? Well, simply, it is about trust. But how do you trust? That's a very abstract word that a lot of us think we don't understand. But the reality is it's very simple. And it comes back right to my very first pilot show where we talked about the truth. We talked about really listening to yourself. What do I need? What do I feel? What do I desire? When we start to honor that, we become, as I was saying to the last caller, mindful. And mindfulness means really tasting your food, really looking around you when you go for walks, not zipping by things, really focusing on whether or not your animal needs you in that moment. And we are all at fault. I hate hating that word fault for doing that because we're also human beings. As a psychic, I'm not a guru and I'm not a new agey person and I'm not a holistic person who goes, spread the love and let it joy 24/7. I also truly believe that we have crappy days, that, sometimes you have to go through the crap in order to get to the other side. We didn't need to create that crap, but the reality is sometimes we're going to step into it. And once we've stepped into it, how do you step out of it? Well, people like me can help with that. Even myself. I have days with my son where whether I'm out of sorts, I'm a little tired because I played pool the night before and I stayed up too late, whatever the case might be. Sometimes we'll argue, sometimes we'll have those things. I had a part in creating those situations, whether it's I need sleep, I should have been a little bit more patient, I'm just on edge, whatever the case might be. Taking accountability for myself, I can now step back and do my part in unraveling the knots I've created. So if there's an argument, I can step back if the other person doesn't first, because they have the ability and choice to do that too, and be able to say, hey, you know what, let's step back, let's take a moment and let's talk. And the reality is the more I do that, the more at peace I am. The more I learn to live that kind of lifestyle to the point where arguments are now either minimalized or just don't happen at all. And when we do that and we start to become at peace and more at rest, then our psychic and intuitive abilities start to grow and open. From October 2nd to October 17th, this is what this energy is there to help us with. This energy is actually there to help bring up those things that we don't necessarily deal with, but we know are there. So for me, it's conflict. I'm a Gemini, right? So I want to be quiet, but in the same time, I want to be social. I want to go to sleep, but I want to go bike riding. I want to watch a movie, but I want to go and read. So I'm continually dual. And it's hard for people around me because the inconsistency of who I am is very prevalent in my life. So in this last week or so, because the energy starts well before that, obviously a week or so before it comes in, I've been dealing with that whole idea of, well, what do I really want? What is that compromise? And lucky me, I live with a Libra, right? So I say to him, here's my extreme and here's my extreme. Help me find the middle. That's a new thing we're doing right now, which really helps me and it helps him to understand me. So do you see, in being able to step back, now I can look at my conflict or I can look at the thing I need to deal with and I deal with it. And that's what this time is about. So in this time this year, really take a look at what are the things that really bug you about you in life, okay? What are the things that really bother you? And start to change those things by becoming more mindful of them. Really, really take a look at them. We are at doing a call-in day, 647-931-4701. Today is a sharing circle, so I would love to hear your stories of psychic experiences. We're in the Halloween month. We're in the fall. I love the fashions right now. Oh my God, so nice. I'm actually wearing a t-shirt, and I was going to wear my big top, and I thought to myself, it's the last really nice, warm, muggy day, so I'm gonna wear something new. But I have been wearing my turtlenecks already. So I love the colors of the fall. And we have to understand too that when we come into the fall, it is a high time for spirit, because in this month, the closer we get to All Hallows Eve, we have to understand that the walls are actually growing thinner. So to go see a psychic now is actually not a bad idea, because as the walls grow thinner, we have more access. A lot of us are very open anyway, but man, the edge we have as we get closer is pretty incredible. You're going to find a lot of fun things to do around this time too, like seances. And seances are really great because you have what's called group energy. So you can go see a psychic privately, but when you're working with a seance, now you're working with other people in the room who are lending themselves to that particular energy. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about the seance and the history of the seance and, all kinds of stuff, fun stuff like fakes and all that kind of thing. Ooh, come back right after these messages.
Are you retiring smart? Make your home's equity work for you. With your home's equity in our 30 years of experience, the Retire Smart Properties team can help you achieve the quality of life you've always wanted. Our services are 360 degrees. We'll give you advice, take care of staging and selling, and help you find the perfect home and community to transition to. It's time to enjoy the retirement lifestyle you deserve. Visit our website today to learn how you can use your home to retire comfortably. The Retire Smart Properties team, powered by RE/MAX West.
Hi, and we're back. Also remember with our show, you can tweet us. You can put comments in the Facebook. If you have a question you don't want to call in, you can actually type out your comment on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter, and we're going to get that, and I can still answer your question. So you can text us as well to Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, my TCN TV. So remember that you can ask all the questions you want today. Today is a call-in show, 47-931-4701. I think it'd be a lot of fun for everybody to call in, so please call in. We were talking about seances. So seances are a very unique thing. These are, seances started just before the Victorian era, late 1800s into 1900s. People wanted to start to connect to the dead. The esoteric became a very high fashion thing. So we started seeing a lot of people who were pretend psychics or proposed psychics. And so what they would do is they would gather people and they would rig the room. And how they would rig the room is they put like little strings, or they'd have other people helping them. And they would bring innocent people in, and then they would, turn off the lights, which is one of the reasons you have this whole theme of the lights being turned down. It's not just about being spooky. It was actually to hide all the different things, that the mechanisms that made it look like there was something going on. And some of them were very convincing. Harry Houdini, the magician, before he died, had an obsession with psychics and seances, because when his mother died, he was very close to her, and he always said that he would want to, that she would come back from the dead to talk to him, and that he wanted to find her. So he began going to these places and finding that nothing was coming of them. And so he began to make it a mission to debunk, and we call it debunking, people who were fakes, which actually left him, apparently, from what I'd read, in a high depression, because he really knew there was something on the other side, but he didn't know how to connect to it. And he wasn't finding people who could connect it either, because there were so many more charlatans at that time. I don't think there were so many more, so much as psychics, real psychics, were very quiet about what they do. And really, you'll find that as well today. Today, when we have seances, we find that a lot of them are left to legitimate psychics. People can go to different places to find them, and they can do this kind of work and be a partake in them. And a lot of people find that really scary because they think that, if you have a group situation, that you can call up something really bad. People who know how to do seances well, they do create protections around. They call in angels, guides, guardians. They make the space safe. And so when they make the space safe, it's actually really cool because what happens is you have a group of people. So now you're not just working on a one-on-one energetic level. Now you have other energies all focused on the same thing, which is connecting to loved ones or connecting to people who've crossed over. When you have an intense focus like that, it actually tends to help to open doors and to elevate the energies in the room. So this is why a lot of times when psychics do seances, they do them because they are able to connect even more deeply. A lot of times you'll find that people who do seances are mediums because that is their forte. Mediums are able to connect to the dead. What I find really interesting is I was actually online recently and I was looking for animal seances. I wanted to see if anybody was working with animals because we all have furry loved ones. Now, in a regular seance, animals will come through, but it's far and few between because we're really focused on people, and because the intense energy is on people, that's what we're calling in. So I was looking for animal seances, couldn't find them, and I know there are a lot of places like grieving centers and online grieving places you can go to. So I know a lot of people and have a lot of clients who really want to connect to their animals. And I was asking around, and a lot of people went, well, that's a really cool idea. And then I got a lot of people going, that's rather creepy that you're calling in a dead animal. Well, it's no creepier than calling in a person, because the reality is the dead is the dead is the dead. And from my perspective is if it gives closure to somebody, if it moves somebody forward, if you're helping to guide them, then it's definitely a worthwhile event. So I sat down, I really gave it some thought, and I decided, you know what, I think I'm going to try this. And so I put it out there. And I put it on my Facebook, I put it on Instagram and all that kind of stuff. And my response was overwhelming because people love their animals. So when we talk about seances, we're talking about a group of people coming together to create a group energy that opens doors that will allow spirit to come through. If done well, it's a very fulfilling night. It's a really amazing experience. I've been to a few myself. I've actually well, I didn't hold them. I was actually partnering with another medium, and we kind of worked together, and I love doing that too. That's the other thing too. When you work as a psychic, understand that you're not alone. There are other people who are like you, and there's no competition. There are some who believe there is, like they won't send their client to someone else or what have you. But the reality is if I can't help you, then there's got to be somebody else who can. And if I can see who that is, I'm going to send you to them. Simply because I might not be on your vibe. Right? So if I'm not in your vibe, then I'm not going to help heal you. I'm not going to help guide you. Today is a call-in day, 647-931-4701. Our phones are very quiet at the moment. I would love to hear them ring. So come and ring with us. Come in and speak to us. Being a psychic is something that is innately a part of us, but some of us are aware more from when we're little than anything else. I had my experiences when I was younger, as I've talked about on other shows. My first experience was when I was waking up and I saw my great aunt standing by a tree, and she was in a death veil, a death gown. That's very European, we're Maltese. And my mother came up the stairs, and I came out of that, and I could feel it. I could feel the change in the air. I could feel everything like a hot summer's day with cicadas. You know, when a cicada goes by, that's what it felt like. And my mom came upstairs and she says, listen, Auntie Mary died. My mom was very upset because she grew up with this woman, literally. And I said, I know. And she said, what do you know? And I said, well, I saw her in my dreams. And she said, no, you didn't see anything. You didn't see anything. You didn't hear anything. And she walked away. I didn't understand that at the time. So I felt very bad about that situation. And I kind of went, okay, I'm never doing that again, kind of thing. Now that I'm, so old, I have realized doing this as a profession that she was afraid. Right? In European families, especially old European families, that fear of being a psychic or connected to the dead, they look at you as crazy. They look at you like you're off the rocker, and you don't want your family to be seen like that. It's a stigma. It truly is a stigma. In our day and age, with our generations coming because of the Enlightenment period and the awareness and the awakenings that are happening, we don't see that anymore. Even when I get to people who are completely closed off to it, I don't find that they look at me and say, oh, you're crazy. Now it's, you know what? You believe what you believe. I believe what I believe. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. For me too, it comes down to more than belief, because the reality is I don't have to believe that the sun is going to rise for the sun to rise, right? But the thing is there's tangible proof of that. With my work, the tangible proof comes after the reading, the majority of the time, or because I can pick out something I couldn't possibly know, which is one of the ways I love to start a reading. And I love to start readings that way simply because it allows people to understand that not only am I legitimate, but I really can get deeply into you, and it helps them to be more open. It's that aha moment of, oh God, good, I'm not wasting my money. Because it really is that too. Whether people want to say that or not, when you go to a psychic, you're spending a fair amount. And the reality is you don't want to waste your money. And I don't blame you. I mean, even me, when I need to talk to somebody, I talk to my friends, but there are times when I've sought out readers and I sit there going, ooh, that's a lot of money I got to put out. So is this person legit? And I will do my homework. And we've talked about that on other shows too, as to how to do your homework. And there's another article on mypsychiclifestyle.com in how to choose your psychic. I love talking about this stuff. I love being candid about this stuff. The reality is we as psychics are human. We're not holy like priests are. I know a lot of psychics actually who drink. And who have a lot of health issues for reasons that are fairly obvious. When you get all kinds of information and you see the things you see, how do you deal with that? How do you focus that? And that comes back to the beginning of our show. Because at the beginning of our show, we're talking about focusing these abilities. And when people are young or people don't understand where all these visions are coming from, how do you focus that? How do you even begin to know? And we're finding more and more guides, more and more teachers, more and more psychics are open to teaching, especially young ones. And that's really cool as far as I'm concerned. I have a lot of parents who bring their kids in and we just talk. It's not a reading anymore. Now it's, hey, what have you experienced? This is normal. This is what can be worked on. This is how you can focus it. Now you're going to be able to sleep at night because you haven't been sleeping, right? And what is disrupting your sleep? I find that those things are really important because kids need to know that they're normal. Kids need to know that it's okay for these things to be happening, because once they understand they're normal, they can kind of go, okay, it's happening, whatever, and go on with their regular lives. It doesn't become first and foremost in their thoughts. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about kids and being psychic after these messages with Messages from an Angel.
Are you retiring smart? Make your home's equity work for you. With your home's equity in our 30 years of experience, the Retire Smart Properties team can help you achieve the quality of life you've always wanted. Our services are 360 degrees. We'll give you advice, take care of staging and selling, and help you find the perfect home and community to transition to. It's time to enjoy the retirement lifestyle you deserve. Visit our website today to learn how you can use your home to retire comfortably. The Retire Smart Properties team, powered by RE/MAX West.
And we're back with messages from an angel. And we were talking about kids and being psychic. Kids need nurturing. Sometimes they have nightmares because they have to have dream dumps. Something's happening at school or they're just have an unfounded fear. But there are those children out there, when they come and talk to you, you're just like, where are you getting this from? Easiest thing to do with children who are having intuitive or psychic experiences is just ask them questions. Help them to feel like they're not doing anything wrong or there's nothing to be afraid of. Because really this kind of work is in our control. We don't work with spirit and spirit doesn't work with us. We work together. So when you have a child and they're coming to you saying, hey, I've had nightmares, ask questions. Well, what was the nightmare about? Who was in it? Was there anybody in it that you knew? Anybody that seemed familiar to you? Did you talk to them? Did they say anything to you? These kinds of questions are really important because it gets you to the core of what the dream is about. If it's a dream dump, you can help them with their psychological issue, that their issues that they're going through. If it's not a dream dump, you're going to know. Some of the key questions to ask anybody, especially children, is, could you feel that you were in the dream? Could you smell things when you were in a dream? Was the dream color or was it black and white? If it's black and white, it might be a dream dump. If it's color, a lot of times it can be very real. These are called lucid dreams, when you can feel, hear, sense, all the five senses are awake. What it means is you've come out of your body, you've actually traveled into dream walking, and you're there in another place. That's a whole nother show about what we call the Akashic Records. So the reality is they just need to be made to feel normal. That's all. So if you freak out, they're going to freak out. But if you say, hey, you know what did they look like? And sometimes kids will have experiences, like they'll see things in a room. Oh, that's grandma sitting in the chair. Well, what does grandma look like? Can you smell grandpa's cigar? That kind of thing. Or what are they doing? That kind of thing. A lot of times you'll find that children will say, well, they're sitting in the corner, they're standing in the corner, and they're smiling at me. And that's a really important thing, because that shows that not only is the child seeing, but it also shows that that ancestor could be at peace. And the child is seeing them because they're very open. From 0 to 7, children are open. A lot of kids experience this kind of stuff, but either don't talk about it or the parents dismiss it. So with a child, don't dismiss anything. When I was a little kid, I used to have an imaginary friend, or at least I thought it was, until I was well into my 30s, and I went to see a friend of mine, and she goes, you have a very unique guide. And I said, really? And she said, yeah, he's blue. When I was a little girl, my imaginary friend looked like Jack Frost. He was blue. And he looked like Jack Frost because my guide came to me in a way that I could reference it, in a way that would feel safe for me. And a lot of time, guides and guardians will come that way to children. We mistake them as imaginary friends. So how do you know the difference? Again, ask questions. When do they come to you? They come in dreams? Do they come when you play? That kind of thing. I very specifically remember playing one day, and my imaginary friend Jack turned to me and he said, I have to go now. And I said, okay. And I went back to my toys, and then I stopped for a second. I looked back, he wasn't there, and I went back. And I forgot about it all the way up until that encounter with that healer friend of mine. So it's a very unique circumstance when a child has an imaginary friend. So ask questions. And when it comes to being intuitive, we all have these experiences. Again, it's about dismissing it. I'm a computer, you're a computer, we connect. I download all my information, you download all your information. And what will happen is that you will begin to read it. Difference is I do it every day in awareness. You're doing it too, all the time. Dismiss nothing. It's a really unique way of being. Now, we have 6 minutes in this show. So if anybody's going to call in or they're going to comment, now is definitely the time to do it. 647-931-4701 for your psychic reading today, as Barb DeJulia would say. Do you want your reading with Angel the Psychic? Call in now. So if you want, you are more than welcome. I work with guides and guardians, angels, archangels. I'm a free-for-all. So whoever of the light wants to come through, they're more than welcome. The difference with me is that if someone is still alive and they need to talk to you, I let their spirit come through. So dead or alive, it doesn't make a difference. And as everyone knows, I'm an animal communicator. But the reality is the reason it doesn't make a difference as to whether someone is alive or dead for their spirit to come through is because the body is just an encasement. That's all it is. It actually encases energy. So when somebody passes away, the body releases all that energy and it becomes kinetic. So this is why when you have a visitation, sometimes computers will go wonky, lights will start to flicker. You'll find that things will get tossed around, because what happens is energy goes like that. And if it does that, it could physically hit something. It becomes tangible. It affects lights and such and electronics because it's energy. It interferes with the wavelengths, so to speak. So when we are within our bodies, we need to allow that energy to move away, not away from us, but through us and outside of our realm, outside of the physical body. The more outside the energy becomes, the easier it is to read people. Whether it is to read how they're feeling or read their future, it's irrelevant. Reading is reading. It doesn't matter. The second you connect to somebody else's computer, you are reading their programs. How to do it in awareness is to be relaxed, is to be in a good space. When you're in a crappy space, it's possible to read too, but the reality is you're in a different vibration, so you're going to get different information. It might be a little more difficult. I remember when I was in a really bad place, I went to work one day, and the woman who owned the shop I was working in when I was younger, she said, listen, she goes, I know you're going through a lot. You have a full day of readings. You have one of two choices. You can go home, completely understand. I'll call someone else for today. She said, or you can put your stuff aside, focus, ground yourself, and go in there with the understanding that somebody needs your help. A little bit of a no-brainer, especially the way she said it. So I ended up spending the day there, and it wasn't easy. It really wasn't. But I knew the people needed me, and I knew this was an exercise even for myself to see if I could do that. And that lesson and learning has come to today. Like, there are very rare circumstances where I will not read somebody because of how I feel or the day I've been having or whatever circumstances are going on with me. And it's rare that I find a situation that I can't read because I've worked with the people I've worked with and learned from the people I've learned with in different cultures. That's made it easier too. So being well-rounded as a reader is very important. It's not just about the people that you learn from, but it's also the experiences you have. So when I was younger, I used to go to museums all the time. I studied different cultures. I studied different religions. I studied sciences. I studied maths, which I wasn't very good at, but I studied them. I studied languages. One of the reasons I did that, not knowing I was going to become a psychic, was because I was in theater and I wanted to be cultured and I wanted to be well-rounded. And I didn't realize that when I stepped into this realm of the psychic and the intuitive, these gave me frames of reference. When I see certain things right now, I can go, oh, that looks like a Picasso. People understand what that means. And if they don't, I can go, well, go take a look at that painting because what I'm seeing looks like that. Or I can turn around and say, well, in this particular culture, this is how they address things. In our culture, we don't. So maybe you want to take a look at this, this, and this. If somebody speaks a different language and I hear that in spirit, I can pinpoint a lot of languages. And if I can't, I'll be like, okay, but I know that's Eastern European, or I know that that's European, or I know that's Asian, or I know that, and I can pin that because I've had that experience of the different cultural languages. And it's a lot of fun. The more cultured you are, the more well-rounded you are, the more you feel the well, the better you feel. So again, going back to that, the better you feel, the more balanced you are, the easier it is that you're going to read. Rest and sleep, unfortunately, sound new agey, but it's true. It's part of what we do. If we don't sleep well, we get edgy. We shut down a little bit. If we don't eat well, then what's going to happen is that we don't have, especially if we're not hydrated, big thing, we don't have neurons that actually connect, that help us feel focused and clear. It's mental, physical, emotional, spiritual. A lot of people think because I'm a psychic, I spend all my time in the spirit realm connecting to guides and guardians and gods and this and that. No, I actually spend a good part of my time being in my body and really working with grounding myself because I'm there so much. So I really have to work at it. So I go to the gym and I go to, I mountain bike and I ski and I play pool and I do all these things that actually put me in my body so that when I do work on the other side, I can fully commit to my spirit and there's a balance. I'm grounded here. You're going to find that a lot of, not all, but a lot of readers are actually quite heavy. They're heavier set. One of the reasons that happens is they spend so much time in the spirit realm that they don't spend enough time grounding themselves. And you'll find that a lot of readers too have health issues. Again, it's the body needing to really ground in the earth. They need to take a look at what's going on with them. And that's not to say every single reader is like that, because I have friends who are heavy set and it has nothing to do with that because they are very balanced. But a lot of times it's also very stressful because we tend to take on the emotions of the people who come in. Okay, we feel for the people who come in. Somebody loses a child or an animal, or they just lost their parent months before. I'm tapping into not only the spirit of the person, I'm also tapping in to that person. I'm tapping into their sorrow. I'm tapping into their grief. I had a woman come in last week. She was getting married. All I felt was giddy. All I felt was laughter. And I'm sitting going, all I see is a wedding cake. She goes, oh yeah, I'm getting married on Saturday. Gee, thanks. And it was awesome because she came in with her fiance, and he was just full of light and love. And he's normally like this. And he was the one stressing out. So I could feel the stress in him. Right? So it's so cool to be able to feel the person in front of us. And how do you do that? It's really simple. Just be quiet. Dismiss nothing. Know yourself so that that's your baseline for feeling. So when you feel others, you see the difference and feel the difference. Today has been a really, really great day. First half of our show, we had all kinds of readings. Now I get to talk about the theme today, which is being psychic, how it's done, and why we do what we do, and who we are. So thank you so much. And next week, I hope you join us and come back. From Messages from an Angel.
Are you retiring smart? Make your home's equity work for you. With your home's equity in our 30 years of experience, the Retire Smart Properties team can help you achieve the quality of life you've always wanted. Our services are 360 degrees. We'll give you advice, take care of staging and selling, and help you find the perfect home and community to transition to. It's time to enjoy the retirement lifestyle you deserve. Visit our website today to learn how you can use your home to retire comfortably. The Retire Smart Properties team, powered by RE/MAX West.
Hi, and thank you for joining us this week on Messages from an Angel. Today was a really fun day. We got to talk to people. We got to do readings. We got to talk a little bit about Halloween, seances. This is what our show is about, and it's really fun having you a part of our show, and we hope you join us next week at the same time, 12 to 1 on Thursdays on Messages from an Angel.